covered a lot of material over the last couple of days. And before we have our morning quiz, we want to just go through some of the things that we've covered. So let's talk about really the whole focus of what's going on here. The guest-focused experience. We view everything from the guest perspective, okay? So over the last few days, we've talked about trying to mirror how our guests are and keep pace with it. Who can tell me one of the guest types that we normally deal with? Joe? Type A. Most of the people in this room are a type A. They're aggressive. They're dominant. They know what they want. Brandon, give me another type.
Analytical.
Analytical. Think about maybe that older couple coming in with a briefcase. They research everything before they make a decision. If they can research the air they breathe, the water they drink, they will. These are the people, again, that read every line of the contract. They go through the manuals. These are also the people that we have to be a little bit more soft-spoken with, a little bit more quieter. They're not going to react well to someone who's loud and animated. Ty, what's one of the third types? Social. Everything is warm and wonderful with these people. They want to be part of the crowd. These are the people that you want to talk about your daughter's first dance recital, your son's basketball game. They're not as interested in the facts and figures of the card. They want to be part of the team. Ryan, what's the last type?
The one who wants to stand out.
Okay. The creative, imaginative type. Think of Walt Disney. These are the people that wait in line for 2 days for the new iPhone. These are the people that buy all those exotic colors. What's most important to them? They want to stand out and be different. So we talked about different types of personalities. We've talked about how we mirror or how we react with them. The whole purpose of this is that we can select the right vehicle for the person. Remember, on this hand, I'm not going to change the color of the car. I'm not going to, put leather in if I don't have to, put an entertainment system in. But I can play with the other side of the equation. I can try to get more down payment. I can play with the rate. I can play with the price. And when it all comes down to it, we're tired of hearing, hey, I just want to think about it. We want to make sure we're on the right car. So we have a road to the sale. It's the 11 steps that we do. Who can tell me step 1? The meet and greet. So think about it. Someone's coming into our showroom. We got to say hello and meet them. This is our opportunity. This is when you're sizing up that customer is sizing you up, and you got to make a great impression. What's the second step? Needs analysis. Think about it. We got to ask them questions so we can select the right vehicle. How do we do the needs analysis? Remember, we've got that sheet, and we're just going to follow along that sheet and ask the questions. What's the third step? Vehicle selection. It's very logical. Someone came in, we met and greet them. We then asked them questions with our need analysis, and we're asking these questions to select the right vehicle. So we've asked the questions, we think we've got the right vehicle. What's step number 4? Bingo. Remember that walk around we did yesterday. We want to present the vehicle in the best light. Now, when we talk to a customer with our needs analysis, what's one of the things that we're getting out of them? Why they're buying the vehicle. What do we call that? Thank you, Ty. A hot button. And that's the motivating factor why someone wants a new vehicle. Maybe they want a leather interior. Maybe they need third row because their family is increased. Maybe they want to get out of a sedan and get to an SUV. For whatever reason, it's the main reason why they're buying a vehicle. And who tells us about the hot buttons? Do we tell the customer, or does the customer tell us? Customer tells us. So as we're asking those questions and we're doing our walk around, we want to make sure that whatever they told us is important to them, we're going to highlight. So if they talk about safety and reliability, what are we going to talk about, Ryan? So as we walk around that car at every opportunity, we're going to talk about safety and reliability. So besides that hot button, there's something else that we want to talk about. The person's lifestyle, how they're going to use that vehicle. Remember, one of the questions we ask is, during the course of a normal day, how will you be using the vehicle? What is that going to give us? The implied hot button. So remember, the customer is telling us what's important to them. They're telling us about how they live their life. So let's take the example, the soccer mom, who takes the kids all around and does a lot of carpooling. And she tells Ryan that safety and reliability are very important to her. But knowing how she uses the vehicle and how she lives her life, we're going to make a suggestion of another feature that might be important. What might that be, Brendan?
Third row, cup holders.
Third row, cup holders, charging points. You can even go to another step. Run flat tires. So if there is a problem, you're not going to miss the soccer game. You'll be able to drive there and take care of it afterwards. So we've done our vehicle demo, which is one of the steps. Excuse me, the vehicle presentation. What's next?
Vehicle demonstration.
Thank you, the vehicle demo. Going on the test drive, okay? This is when the customer smells, feels, tastes the car. They have that experience. They're smelling that new car smell. How long should a demo drive be? 10 to 20 minutes normally, but we also, remember, want to follow the pace of the customer. So if it's an older couple who wants to drive a while on the highway, let them experience it. If it's the doctor who says, I got to get back to the hospital in an hour, do a shorter test drive. We want to let the customer set the pace. So we've done the demo. We're coming back to the dealership. But on the way back to the dealership, what are we going to do?
And go through the level of interest questions
Thank you, Joe. And why are we doing that?
to see if we're on the right track.
It's all about being on the right car. So who can tell me the first level of interest questions?
What do you like best?
B, what do you like best? What's the second one? Brandon.
Comparison.
C, okay? Not a comparison, there's one more before that.
Concerns.
Do you have any concerns? So Ryan, you almost got the next one. What's the next C?
How it compares.
How to compare. So first of all, what do you like best? Do you have any concerns? How does it compare to your vehicle? Or how does it compare to a vehicle you just test driven? Ty, bring it home. What's the last one? B, C, C, O. Would you like to take it home today and own it? I know you were not here yesterday, so no big deal. So the level of interest questions we're asking before we're presenting numbers, we want to make sure we're on the right car. So we're back at the dealership. What's the next step?
Is it presenting numbers or is it the service?
It's the service walk. We want to take a break for a couple of seconds. We want to take them to the service lane. What's one of the reasons why we're doing that? Service is very important to the dealership. We want to make sure that they have a contact in service as well. We want to show them where to bring the vehicle when they purchase it, and it's already setting in their mind that mental ownership. They're thinking about, wow, if I'm buying the car, I'm going to have to bring it in to get serviced. This is where I want to go. So we do the service walk. What's after the service walk? The sales menu presenting numbers. This is the first time we're actually talking about the price of the vehicle. And before we do that, what are we gonna do one more time?
Make sure we're on the right one.
We're gonna recap and ask questions again to make sure we're on the right vehicle. So one of those questions, does this set out and accomplish everything you wanted to today? Does it meet your needs? Does it make you happy? Would you like to take it home today? If we get a yes to every one of those questions, we're golden. We're on the right car. We've selected the right vehicle. We're going to have a sale. But if they say no, inquire why. Are they still concerned about the vehicle? Or is it maybe something else like the numbers? Because again, I'm not going to play with the vehicle, but I can play with the numbers on the other side of the equation. So we present numbers, we do the salesman. What happens next? Think about it. You just presented numbers to someone. What normally happens?
Yeah, making an action.
So what do we have to do? We have to handle that objection now, and we have to close the sale. So in the beginning part of our work, we talked about how to handle an objection, and it had 3 key parts to it. Brandon, do you remember part 1?
Permission to say no.
Permission to say no. How many other dealerships allow your customer to say no? Ryan, what's part 2?
From their perspective.
New information based on their perspective. And Ty, what's number 3? Bring them back into the conversation, back into the fold. And how do we do that? With an open-ended question. So we've closed the sale. We're like, yay, everything is going great. What's the next part?
Finance.
We want to turn it over. And we want to turn it over to one of the managers. Why do you think we do that? Because a customer is going to tell information to a manager that they're not going to tell you and I. To a customer, the manager is above us. They like to deal with the decision maker. So they're going to give them information that they won't give us. So after we've turned it over, we've made the sale, what do we need to do next? Well, we got to deliver the vehicle. So as we're delivering the vehicle, we all know what happens. Paperwork has to be signed. They have to go into a finance office. They have to sign all the paperwork. We got to do the titling and put the plate on. And then finally, we're going to give them the keys, and we're actually going to show them everything they bought in the vehicle. This is the second biggest purchase most people make. A lot of dealerships say, here are the keys, thank you very much. We want to go over it with them. We want to make sure they understand what they got. And the reason for that, it's going to build value in yourself and in the dealership for future referrals, for taking care of their friends and family, and because it's also the right thing to do. Now, a lot of times with the delivery, there's time involved. We're waiting for the finance office. So how do we take care of that? Do we just leave the customer alone? No. We want to occupy them. So during the delivery, we're going to move things around. We're going to gas up that car. We're going to get it detailed. This is now the customer's car. If you know it's going to be 45 minutes or an hour before the finance office is available, take them for another demo drive. It's their car. Finally, after the delivery, what's the last step? Following up. And we're following up for many reasons. One of them is to make sure they're happy with their purchase, so we can get a good CSI score. The other reasons for follow-up is to get referrals. And if there is an issue, that we can take care of it immediately. We don't want things to prolong. So lots of material we've gone over for the last few days. Yesterday, when we did the walk around, I really think everyone did great. You guys all came up with your own little things about what to talk about. To me personally, the walk around is one of the most important things. It's what separates us from most other dealerships. Really doing a good walk around and hitting on those hot buttons and those implied hot buttons is very important. Does anyone have any questions on any of the material we've covered so far? Okay, so we're going to get ready for our quiz. Again, it's 10 questions. Just fill it out and we'll go from there.